Hola, and today we're doing a reaction to the Portugal 26-man squad that is going to be travelling to the Euros for Euro 2020. So smash a like on it, subscribe for more Euro content, and it will be very interesting. Obviously, two sides to my nationality, Portuguese and English. I will be supporting Portugal, I often do, but I actually, from a distance, from a neutral perspective, why not? Everyone's involved in it. I might review some England games, but I'll be watching obviously Portugal, and let's see how we get on. It is going to be interesting as we try and defend our European title. But let's get into this video, and before we do, I just have to report on Spain versus Portugal for a few reasons, really. First of all, I'm a bit of a numpty because in my big old bumper video for the Euros, final predictions yesterday, I somehow managed to miss out one of the quarterfinals, and that was Spain against Portugal in my version of the draw, or the fixture kind of like wall chart thing. So yeah, apologies for that, but I did put it in the title of the video as one of the quarterfinals. Spain 1, Portugal 2, with Dani Olmo getting the first goal, an equaliser from Joao Cancelo, and the winner from Joao Felix. Joao Felix. Yeah, don't question myself. No, that was the first thing. The other thing was that it was great to see Portugal get the dub last night in the Under-21 European Championships. Absolutely brilliant. I didn't see it coming. I saw that Spain game and I thought, that this could be a tough one because we know Spain have got a lot of really good wonder kids. And it was just one of those games, there was a lot of nerves going into it, and I think that was reflected in the match. It wasn't an absolute thriller, but we got the dub, and that's all that counts. Spain 0, Portugal 1. I'll admit, it was a game of two halves between the two under-21 teams, and in the first half, it was us that played pretty decent. We had that shot from Vitinha tipped over, fairly comfortable for the goalkeeper, but he still had to make the save. And also Leao. Leao did so well to get into that left-hand side, take on the man, and he just got past Miguenza like he wasn't there, and then he just couldn't find Motta. Don't know whether he was shooting, whether he was crossing, but just agonising stuff, really. And then the second half, Spain come out a lot stronger, and we're kind of really under the cosh here. They hit the post through Cucurella, and they came close a few times with Manu Garcia just wide, and you kind of felt it'd just be a matter of time before we conceded. So I got to be honest, I was fearing for the worst in that point of view. But eventually we did get back into it, and what a goal in the fact that it was constructed brilliantly. What a ball from Vitinha over the top. That is so clever from him, and really good control from the on-rushing player Vieira. Really nice shot. He's got power in it. It might have gone in, I don't know, but it is one of those cruel deflections for a defender, and it loops off Cuenca spectacularly into the back of the net, off the crossbar, bouncing down, but we'll take the goal. And it was a bit of a smash and grab at the end of the day, especially based on that second half in terms of the main chances, but we'll take it, and we're in the final to face Germany, so we're loving that, and that's all that counts at the end of the day. So let's hope we can get that trophy. That really would be good. But ultimately, I will be looking at more Portugal's squad, and also today, Portugal do actually face Spain, unbelievably, just like it's the common fixture of the last few days, in just a pre-season, pre-Euro 2020 friendly. So this is Portugal's first friendly of the next two before the Euros kicks off. So we've got Spain first, then Israel, coming off the back of those World Cup qualifiers where we did actually do well to top the group, and we had some really good performances in there. But in terms of our selection, our lineup going into tonight, we've got Patricio in goal. Hopefully he can stay fit. Nelson Semedo playing at right back. He's going to be a big player for us at the Euros. We've got Pepe once again. He's still going strong. What a legend. Rafael Guerreiro, really good player. Technically so gifted, and I'm going to be fascinated to see how he gets on tonight. Jose Font also playing. Now, you'd imagine the centre-back pairing in our games at Euros will be Diaz and Pepe, but Font getting a run out here is good to see. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, captaining the side. We've got to get this kind of team playing strong in terms of their selection, because then we can really warm up for those Euros. But you feel so scared that a player gets injured, like we saw with England recently, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's now out of Euro 2020, so it's a big, big blow. We've also got Danilo Pereira in the midfield. Renato Sanchez, absolutely wonderful young player. Diogo Jota, Joao Felix, and also Sergio Oliveira. So it's a nice looking team. And the front three there, Ronaldo, Felix, and Jota. That is going to get some goals, I hope, for this game, but we shall see. In terms of Spain, they have got Unai Simon in goal, not David De Gea, so that's interesting. Let's see if we can get at them for that. Pau Torres in the defence. Sergio Busquets is captaining the side. Marcus Llorente, Alvaro Morata is going to be hard to keep quiet tonight. Thiago, Ferran Torres, Jose Gaya. So they're giving Jordi Alba a rest ahead of the Euros, which makes sense. Fabian Ruiz, Pablo Sarabia, and Aymeric Laporte. Laporte, of course, who was originally playing for France, but then qualified as a place in the Spain side. So they've got an amazing bench. Jordi Alba, Oyarzabal, and I've just seen a goal update. Finland are now losing 1-0 to Estonia. Just another friendly. But at the end of the day, they've got a very good team, and they've got, Oyarzabal, Robert Sanchez, Azpilicueta, Koke, all on the bench. Whereas we've got Ruben Neves, Nuno Mendes, Joao Palhinha, Andre Silva, Joao Moutinho, and both of our goalkeepers. So, interesting stuff really. But I'm looking at that side and thinking we could do something tonight. It's just a little warm-up game. Let's try and get the juices flowing and get the players in that fitness period. It's going to be interesting as well in the Euros about managers, because you looked at people like Luis Enrique, who's not really had much of a go at it, and you look at people like Joachim Low, who's going to have his last international tournament. There's a lot of big moments for these head coaches, and that's why this Euros is going to be so fascinating. But fingers crossed for the game tonight. What do I predict? I mean, it's only a friendly, so it's how serious both these sides take it. But I'll take a 1-1, to be honest, with goals from, let's say, Joao Felix, and for Spain, we'll go for Ferran Torres. All right, let's go into the main part of the video, though, today, and that is me reacting to the Euro 2020 26-man squad that has been released. Now, this is going to be a bit shorter than you think. I've kind of miscalculated the time a little bit, so bear with me with that. But basically, I released it on my thing, so let me just get that for you. Basically, I released a summary of the differences between my video and what the actual reality is. So let me just get to that, and then we will be able to go through it. Here we go. So the 26-man squad, the main first difference is obviously I thought it would be a 23-man squad. That was before they introduced the initiative to have it as a 26-man squad. And I thought it was going to be a 23-man squad, but then it gets cut down to 23 from the 26. But actually, it stays at 26. That's the rule now for these Euros. So fair enough. But basically, I got the number wrong. We can't have known about that. That's unlucky. And the main differences, really, between my predictions and reality are as follows. So first of all, I just want to mention Francisco Trincao. I thought we'd gamble with him, to be honest, because he has been absolutely brilliant for Barcelona and really, really good for the youth team. So I thought we might get him in and Andre Silva to play up front. Andre Silva, obviously, a bit more experienced at Frankfurt, and does sometimes struggle for goals, but we know he's still got that lethal part to his game. So, it is what it is. But let me just go through then, shall we? The differences. So first of all, in goal, we've got Anthony Lopez, called that one, and Rui Patricio, called that one. But our third goalkeeper is going to be Rui Silva from Granada. I actually went for Beto, so we've got to swap those two around. Defence, we got Jose Font in there, which is a bit of a shocker in my opinion. Not in the fact that he's a bad defender, because he's still fully capable, but I just didn't realise he was still that much tournament ready and tournament fit, because he's getting towards the end of the career, and that's a thing that I'll go on to say about Pepe. And yeah, you got to say Pepe in Euro 2016, absolutely one of the players of the tournament. In that final, he had, that French team in his back pocket, Griezmann in his back pocket. He was just so assertive and so strong, making so many important clearances and blocks. But Pepe still got it in him, and clearly Jose Font still got it in him. So in defence, I had Mario Rui from Napoli playing in there. To be fair, we don't have many left backs, and we don't actually need too many more right backs. We've got a lot of right backs right now, but fair enough. We've gone with Jose Font instead of Mario Rui. And the other shock, again, as well as Font, is to have Pepe in there. They're both quite old, but they seem to, still have it. So fair play. I didn't expect it, but I suppose the surprise exclusions from the squad would be through Ricardo Pereira of Leicester City and Cedric Suarez. So Ricardo Pereira was swapped out in my prediction. In reality, it was Pepe that came in because I just didn't realise he was going to be in the squad. But fair enough. We just have those similarities to the Euro 2016 team. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But with Ricardo Pereira, I thought he'd be fully fit and firing to go. He kind of did end the season. He came on off the bench for Leicester, and he has had a really stop-start season. So you can imagine why we've not included him. But I thought he'd be fit enough to play. It's a bit of a shame, but we've still got very good other, fullbacks, so that's not too much of a problem. Moving on, we went for Andre Gomez in midfield, and he was not picked in the midfield, which, again, is a bit of a shock. Instead, we've gone with William Carvalho and Joao Palhinha. Now, Joao Palhinha is really good to see because, he's an up-and-coming, really positive and good player from Sporting. With William Carvalho, who we will go on to talk about as, a difference in this team, a one that I didn't, have coming, basically. He was additional player to go in there. A bit like with Jose Font and with Pepe, a little bit older than I expected them to be in. So, fair enough, they are in, and I didn't expect that. But with Andre Gomez, I just thought that he'd be good enough to kind of carry it on. He's had, again, a stop-starting season with Everton. They've struggled to kind of get that consistency. He's had a lot of injury problems. But instead, it will be Joao Palhinha. So I hope he can take this moment and really, go with it, go for it. And of course, Sergio Oliveira as well. Another addition that should be interesting. Joao Moutinho was also added to the squad. Now, in my video, I mentioned how I said I thought maybe one of Ruben Neves or Joao Moutinho because we've already got a lot of midfield depth. But fair enough, Joao Moutinho is also in there. Then moving on to another defender that I was surprised to not see in there, Cedric Suarez, maybe because of his lack of game time at Arsenal this season, but fair enough. Instead, in midfield, it's Danilo Pereira who gets one of his spots, and Danilo Pereira has been really good for PSG, so I'm hoping he can keep us solid in the middle of the park. And then in terms of going more forward line, in terms of the strikers, we put in Paulinho, and it was a bit of a big call, I guess, because, yeah, he doesn't always get selected. But instead, it was Rafa Silva from Benfica. So, yeah, definitely a good option for us to have if we need it. Moving on, Sergio Oliveira, we mentioned, a nice little additional addition I didn't see coming. But, he's been doing well in qualifying. We've also got Francisco Trincao, who I mentioned. He was changed in the real squad released by Gonzalo Guedes, who I've got to be honest, I completely forgot about. What a legend. He still is very good, and he can play in midfield or he can play on that kind of winger spot or the forward line. So he's very versatile in that respect. Of course, scored the goal to win us the Nations League in that game against the Netherlands. So he's got goal for it, that's for sure, and he'll be decent for us, you'd hope, at these Euros. And then the final difference is Pedro Neto. Now, it's a shame, isn't it? Because I predicted this 23-man squad before that Neto injury. So what could I have done really about that? But instead, Pedro Goncalves is in for the midfield. And I actually do rate this guy. Also referred to as Pote from Sporting. Very nice little player. And I think he could do some interesting stuff. So, yeah, I guess Trincao and Cedric Suarez and Ricardo Pereira are the main shocks in terms of absentees. I guess Trincao maybe was a bit too far to kind of have him on this team. But we've got a lot of interesting young players that can eventually get to these big tournaments, like we talked about earlier with Vitinha and now, of course, Trincao. So all in all, it's a decent squad. In defence, we've pretty much called it bang on, apart from Jose Font and Pepe. But we've got Cancelo there, Diaz, Rafael Guerreiro, who's going to be really important, Nuno Mendes and Nelson Semedo. And then, of course, we had the William Carvalho in the midfield. We didn't see coming. Neither did we see Danilo. But Bruno Fernandes had to be. João Moutinho, fair enough. We've also had Ruben Neves in there. And we've also got in midfield Renato Sanchez and Bernardo Silva. Now, you can qualify Bernardo Silva as a forward or a midfielder. It doesn't really matter. But I knew he's going to play in the squad and he's going to be massive for us next Euros or this Euros. And then finally, all the forwards are pretty much called apart from Rafa Silva instead of Trincao. So, yeah, fair enough. Instead, you can actually play Gonzalo Guedes in that forward line. But Felix, we got Jota, we got right. Ronaldo, of course, and Silva, as well as Rafa Silva. So that is interesting. That is my reaction to this 26-man squad for Portugal. I think it's very strong. I think we've given ourselves a chance with this selection, and I think that, you know, Fernando dos Santos has done a decent job. So yeah, I really can't be too down about that. Obviously, there's 3 additions that I didn't know about because it was a 26, not a 23. And also in total of like individual places we got wrong, you'd say there's about, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. Yeah, about 7 or 8 that we got just like little switches in terms of what happened in reality. So all in all, from a 23-man / 26-man squad, we got a lot of it right. So I'll take that, and I will hope for some success for my national team, Portugal. But I shall see you in the next video. I hope you liked it. Comment your thoughts on your nation and what are your thoughts about your 26-man squad. But it's going to be a big one. The Euros is kicking off very, very soon.